All right, so we're working over here in a shower, and we have a leaking shower. It leaks downstairs into the family room. So this is our shower pan, and it's basically a tile. This is actually all marble, but it's a mud set shower pan, meaning that it has a layer of mud with a membrane and then another layer of mud, and then this tile here set on top of it. So notice immediately there are cracks all the way around the perimeter here. And these are because the person that did the actual tile work didn't caulk the bottom, they just grouted it. And unfortunately, grout has no movement to it, and so when things move around, it tends to crack and fall out. However, the membrane, which is underneath this, should actually stop it from leaking. So what we're going to do, we're going to place this on a test. So we're going to basically put a plug here, like so. We're going to inflate it, and then we're going to apply water to the pan to see. We'll start with just doing it around the perimeter of the drain to see if it's the drain leaking, and then we'll fill it all the way up to the outside to see if it's the perimeter that's leaking. All right, so I've got a plug in, and this is a 1.5, I think, to 2-inch plug. I inflated it. So now the next step is to put water in here, so you keep the cap on so it doesn't lose air through the top. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to check to make sure the plug is airtight, or watertight rather. So for that, we're going to, let's see if I can make this work. Now, because I don't know if it's the water source, if I don't know if it's this water source here that's leaking or if it's the pan that's leaking, I'm going to just do what I did here, which is extend a long hose to the toilet and use that to fill my pan. So let's go ahead, put some water in the middle. And then we want to make sure the plug's watertight, so we're going to take our tracer dye and we're going to put some in the water with the aid of a black light right here. So we're going to put some, you can see how well this fluoresces. So what we want to do is see if it's leaking, and you can tell it's leaking if it does what it's doing right now, which is spiraling beautifully into a gap between the ball and the drain, which means that my ball's not inflated enough, obviously. And we need to add some more air to it, or basically pull it out and clean the perimeter so that there's no gaps between the rubber and the plastic. As you can see, definitely a leak. Testing our water plug again. Okay, this time, as you can see, it's not going anywhere. It's just sitting there, which is as it should be. So now we know my plug is solid, at least it's not leaking. Now I want to test the perimeter of the drain. So we're going to add some more tracer dye to the water right here. At all 4 corners, and we're going to check to see if that leaks. We're looking to see if it's moving, which there doesn't appear to be because it's literally not moving. It's just staying right where I put it, which is good. Yep, no movement is my friend. All right, we're going to check to see now if this is leaking around the perimeter and where it's leaking. So again, we're going to put a little drop in and see what it does. I know it's leaking. I can hear the guys downstairs going, hey, it's leaking. So I need to figure out where and why. So we're going in the corners first, because that's quite often where it does leak. And we're just going to chase this stuff around the perimeter. Interesting. As you can see, found my leak. Might be more evident with the black light, but I found it. Water's going into there like a little black hole. It's literally sucking in. There you go. So the pan's leaking from this corner. that's a positive leak. See how it's all kind of flowing in that direction. So I'm going to check the rest of my pan. I'm not sure if that's sucking it in or if that's just sitting there, so I'm going to just go ahead and do this. That's not sucking anything in. Just to double check, I'm going to go right up against. And you can see right there. There's your leak. So that means the pan membrane itself is compromised in this corner for some reason. None of the other corners appear to be problematic. It's usually the corners, like I said, which is where you see the problem. So double check this. Just sits. Just sits. Little spots. Doesn't have to be much. Oh, look at that. Sucking in right there too. Of course, that could all be related, but it definitely, this whole area here is compromised. See, watch. Boom, there it goes. Bye-bye. We have a leak. We know where the leak is. So the source of the problem was a cut in the membrane, which occurred when the plumbers were cutting the pipe, and the fix was to put a patch on.